Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be comparing the Honda Ridgeline to the Ford Maverick. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Super Ford here in Salt Lake for giving me some time with that Maverick. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Jaden. Also include a link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get right into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 20 around town and then 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 250 horsepower and then 277 pound-feet of torque. And powering the Ridgeline is a 3.5-liter V6 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 23 on the highway, with power outputs being 280 horsepower and then 262 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this comparison, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So both of these have their off-road packages. This is the Trail Sport version of the Ridgeline, and then this is the Tremor version of the Maverick. Now you can see the Maverick's gone a little bit more all out on the off-road stuff because we got recovery points there. You can see the front end's been sculpted for off-roading, whereas with the Ridgeline, it kind of has a normal Ridgeline front end. They haven't changed all that much. I will say the Maverick looks more truck-like, but the Ridgeline's definitely a bigger vehicle. I mean, you can see that with the height difference. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 235 by 65 by 17 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see here with the wheels, you got the metallic gray there, a little gold around the valve stem. Pretty aggressive tires. Got our Lariat badge here on the side. You can see with the mirror cap blacked out. Tremor decal there on the back. And then again, this is unibody, independent front and rear suspension. So it's kind of like an SUV with a truck bed. And then with the Ridgeline, it's 245 by 60 by 18 in the front and over in the rear. And see with the wheels, very large spokes. All-terrain tires, just like the Maverick. And then just like the Maverick, it is also unibody, independent suspension front and rear. But again, you can see the length here. It's a little bit longer. It's a bigger vehicle. And this leads us to the beds. So with the Maverick, the tailgate is not dampened, so you got to lower it down yourself. But you got protection here from the factory. We've got an outlet here as well. You can see a little light next to it too. All the cargo tie downs on top of that. But yeah, just a traditional truck bed setup. Easy to get the tailgate up. You can see the very boxy, kind of like squared off design of the Maverick here too, so that's another part of it. The Ridgeline's a little bit funky, so it's got a swing gate. It does open traditionally as well if you want that with the tailgate. I guess it's swinging back with that swing gate. But anyways, you can see we've got good storage in here. And yeah, quite a bit of space. Quite a bit of space here in the back with the Ridgeline. It's definitely, again, like a bigger vehicle. I mean, I've got these lined up pretty well. And you can see the wheelbase difference. The Honda's a little bit longer. And then, look at this. I can make the Maverick disappear because the overall length of the Ridgeline, it's a little bit longer than the Maverick. So let me know which exterior you like most, the Ridgeline or the Maverick. In the back of the Ridgeline here, you can see the legroom. Got a little storage pocket there. Nice seats. Look at these. Perforated all down the center portion. Soft touch and everything there on the door panel. Got some vents here in the center. And then a headroom back here. It's nice. Now the back of the Maverick, it actually doesn't seem like it has that much less space, but you got a little storage pocket here. Really nice seats in this Tremor package. You can see the door panel trim. And then headroom also, it's pretty solid. And starting her up with the Ridgeline. Pretty cool. You can see the door panel trim here. And if you're wondering, payload is $14.77 with this. Got your memory seat function. Blind spot ring with the mirrors. Nice trim on the steering wheel. You got that cool kind of like perforated texture on the sides. Paddle shifters in the back with the 9-speed. Got stuff like our adaptive cruise control, heated steering wheel as well. Just a regular camera system. And then infotainment system itself, pretty quick to respond. Tri-zone climate. We also have heated seats, wireless phone charging pad. And then this is interesting with all the little buttons and everything. Just an all-wheel drive system. You've got drive modes to change that system. Some cup holders, big center console. Pretty big glove box. Nice soft touch trim on the dash. And then this does have a power sliding rear window. And then it does have a sunroof as well. And now pop into the Maverick. Pretty cool at the start up there. Look at all the blue on the door panel. 1148 is the payload on this one, so less than the Ridgeline. Still have blind spot running with the mirrors. I like the trim on the steering wheel. It's pretty nice. Still have stuff like adaptive cruise control with this. With the gauge cluster itself, you can see that a little bit more analog with the layout there. And then in reverse, just a traditional backup camera. So nothing too crazy with that. And then as for the infotainment system, response time is pretty quick with the screen. Dual zone climate, got heated seats, heated steering wheel, kind of like a little area here. And then look at that, dial shifter is interesting. And then you can see with the cup holders. And then this is cool, got the Tremor drive modes. It has four-wheel drive lock, so it's kind of like it's kind of like an all-wheel drive system. They call it four-wheel drive, but you can see it's got that quote-unquote rear locking differential. It's just twin clutch system that mimics a rear locker. And then we've got off-road cruise control, and yeah, nice trim on the top here. And then with the rear window, there's this button right here that lets you open it. It's powered just like the Ridgeline. So the Honda stickers for about $47K, that Maverick stickers for about $40,000. So there's about a $7,000 price difference. Let's see which one drives the best. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility of the hood, both the mirrors, and the rest of the rear. And, well, we don't have a ton of gas, so we're not going to go super far. But, Ridgeline versus Maverick. I think this is the most compared vehicle to the Ridgeline is the Maverick, and I think I think it's Maverick versus Ranger, and then Maverick versus Ridgeline, something like that, in terms of what people are researching into. But what I will say is it makes sense, right? Because the cabs of these vehicles are pretty much the same size. It's just the Maverick has a slightly shorter bed, or you can see the Ridgeline has a slightly longer bed. But yeah, it drives like a car. Again, these are both unibody vehicles with truck beds, so they are going to drive very car-like. 0 miles of range. That's a great sign. Here, we'll use this right up here to turn around. Actually, we'll do the next one. Next one will be easier. Maverick Tremor is pretty cool looking, I will say that. And something to remember, this is like as expensive as it gets for a Maverick. You can get Mavericks at a lower price point. Whereas that Ridgeline, it's not base model, but it's also not fully loaded. So you can get more expensive Ridgelines. This turbocharged engine does well. It's got great torque. It moves the Maverick well. And it's pretty impressive. So overall, I mean, you feel like you're just driving any other modern crossover. You just happen to have a truck bed in the back. And the space in the Maverick's impressive. Like I said, the cabs, when you look at the truck side by side, you can see the cabs are pretty much the same size. It's the bed length that is the big difference. So let's pop into that Ridgeline and see how it performs. Well, Ridgeline, here's your visibility throughout. And, well, let's go on the same driving route as that Maverick. See how it performs. Just gonna pick this up quickly so it doesn't spill on the bottom there. Okay. Well, first off, feels like I'm in a bigger vehicle right off the bat, which I am. I like that turbocharged engine with the low end torque. Yeah, the thing I'm thinking with this Ridgeline is I think that Honda sacrificed power for longevity, which, you know, a lot of people appreciate that sacrifice. Because not everyone wants a billion horsepower. You know, a lot of people want something that's just going to last. Yeah, suspension's pretty pretty comfortable. I wouldn't say that it drives any better than the Maverick. But the longer wheelbase does help out a little bit with the comfort. Let's see if the turning radius is... Oh, yeah, this is where you see the size difference. Yeah, it's definitely worse turning radius than that Maverick. Definitely worse. And acceleration, I mean, you get that naturally aspirated instant response, but that turbocharged engine, the Maverick's pretty solid. Sorry, let me adjust this a little bit. So, yeah. Just, is that turbo going to be reliable? That's the one question on that front. So to cap things off, Maverick versus Ridgeline, I think it's just going to depend on what you are using the vehicle for and how much truck bed space you need. I think that if you need more space in the bed, obviously Ridgeline's going to make more sense. But if the Maverick bed is big enough, well, you can save quite a bit of money and have something that's does all the same stuff that the Ridgeline does, basically. Just, you know, question on if that turbocharged 4-cylinder is going to be as reliable as this V6. So let me know if you go Maverick or if you would go Ridgeline.